So today, guys, I'm here with Aaron from BrickFun 101, and this is basically like a year in review. It's basically just our opinions and thoughts on what Lego brought out this year, whether we think they're good, whether we think they're bad, what things they could do better. And I just thought it was a fun idea to get Aaron along because he is an expert in all these sets. He's collected them for over the last couple of months, and he's got a really good opinion. And I thought it was cool to do a video with him. So I'll be going through the sets that we've got here. We've got a massive list, and I'll just be putting a little title underneath to let you guys know what subject we're talking about. So the first one is City. I'll let you go first, Aaron.
Okay. Well, so far in 2021, the biggest change to City everybody was talking about was the road plates. That was the big controversy.
Yeah.
And our personal feelings on it is we don't think they're bad. We think it's just different. We don't think they should have stopped the old offering, as well. But going forward, as far as actually looking at the sets, our quick synopsis is that comparatively to last year, there's less appeal, at least for us as collectors and purchasers and buyers of this Lego theme, because it seems like just a lot more of the same with a lot of focus on fire and police and not doing it in a way which is revolutionarily different on the build style techniques or not necessarily more fun from the set appeal just from the photos online. Last year there was a lot more City where you looked at it and you're like, oh, I want to buy that. Like it just made you want to buy it, right? In 2021, it's really hit or miss on City. There's only been a couple, for us.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. Like the road plates was a huge, like everybody was talking about it in the Lego community. It was a bit of a oddball situation. People were like, oh, well, how am I going to edit my city? How am I going to change things? Am I going to rest them on? Me personally, I hated them at first. I haven't actually got a hold of any, but I've kind of grown to them just because there isn't that much space in the city for actual road plates or some sort of road. So I might be tempted to get some and change that up. But like you said, it's always the same continuous rollout theme, fire, police. There's some sort of like rescue team or something like that. Vehicles were spot on, I think, this year. There's a couple of vehicles like the buggy set that I reviewed in a previous video. There's like the camper van. But if you look throughout Lego City sort of like, history in the previous sets that they've released, a lot of it's actually copied. And I didn't realize that until I looked back. Like the 4x4, I saw that in an earlier set. The camper van's obviously been redone that many times in terms of like, so there's a caravan version, there's a motorhome version. And I thought, oh, this is rather odd. I thought this was new to 2021, but all they've done is added for this set, although I like it, all they've done is took the same 4x4, changed the front up a bit, and added a buggy and a trailer to it. And it's essentially just the same build. But I still think the vehicles are on point. There's a couple of them. But the overall theme is just the same thing over and over again, and it gets a little bit boring. Anything else that you wanted to add onto City?
I think there's a saving grace for this one. Looking forward in the rest of the year, I'm thinking that the safari sets are going to do fairly well. The minifigures and the animals, the elephants and different things you get, they look like they're a lot different than what we've historically got in the last couple of years. And I think that's going to be at least for me, the saving grace is the end of 2021. City looks like it's going to do a lot better. Now, there isn't still a lot of sets where it immediately has that wow factor for us on the City, but at least it looks different enough to where I'll still invest and get those sets rather than just go, well, it's more fire, throw it away,
Yeah, totally get where you're coming from. I don't have anything else to add on that. Next is Ninjago. Now, I don't really have a lot of Ninjago sets. I've got a couple of minifigures up on the shelf behind me, but from some of Aaron's videos that I've watched, they look fantastic, especially the modular sets that they do. It looks amazing. It's so bright and colourful. But that's all I can really put onto it. What about you, Aaron?
I like the fact that to this day, Ninjago still remains one of the themes that is better price per piece. It's not as inflated pricing because of the licensing from Disney or Star Wars or any of the other stuff we'll get into later, but Ninjago still remains a really good value. The sets and vehicles still every year, a good example this year, the Jungle Chopper, I thought was a really cool bike that differed from the bikes of last year. The Ninjago Jungle sort of theme they had this year was really cool. It matched the legacy, format for their TV show. I guess I'm not a huge fan of the TV show. I don't really watch much of it, but the fans of the TV show do appreciate that the sets match what you're seeing on TV. And that mixed in with the history of Ninjago, I don't foresee any problems with Ninjago. It's going to stay here. I don't feel like there's problems with it. I feel like they just need to keep making sure that they stay on point with doing what they've been doing. And the fans of Ninjago have loved this year so far. At least that's what they're telling me. Well, on our channel, there's always wanting more to see more of them. It's not like you just have one or two good sets. Most all of them are good. I'd say maybe there's only been 2 or 3 that I've looked at that have been this year that have been not so great. All of them, and even the new ones that they're looking at, like the new Bounty, which is going to be the kind of like a floating barge. That's a set that's going to be priced at US like $130 or something like that. That even looks pretty decent, and it's not been something that's done before. Even though you think it would match the Destiny's Bounty, which was the boat from 2020. So Ninjago to me is in a good place. Is it my favorite theme? It used to be with the modulars and stuff. But now, as I'm getting older and more cranky, I guess I'm kind of moving away from Ninjago. It's not because I don't like the TV show or any of that stuff. It's just because, as a theme in Lego, I feel like there are other themes that for me make Lego more enjoyable.
Yeah,
but it's still a very good theme, though.
A lot of the when these sets were being released, like some of the mechs and things like that, I saw a couple of pictures of them. They have, for me, just looking at them as like an outsider looking in, they have sort of like amped up the sets a little bit more. And I've seen these, obviously, the golden minifigures that obviously everybody's chasing after. What's your opinion on those? Like, do you think it's just a gimmick to get more people to buy them, for collectors to hoard them, or is it just a...
That's exactly what it is. I mean, like, look at any collectible trading card game. You have rare cards that are harder. You have to buy more packs to open them up. It's kind of similar like that with Lego, where I think their intention of putting that in is to give someone who buys that set something special, like the Golden Woo that comes with the Ninjago City Gardens. That's a very cool one that we ended up getting this year when we purchased the set. But it's not it's something that the hardcore fans will chase and buy every set. So there is incentive for people to do that. And I don't think there's any other alternative motive there from Lego. I think it's literally they're just doing that so that users will have to chase all the sets to make sure they get that complete set. It helps drive up sales and give you a feeling of, well, I'm getting something extra, right? I'm getting something bonus. The same thing they're doing in Harry Potter, by the way, right now with the wizard. I think it's, like you said, I think it's obviously good for people that collect the minifigures and things like that, but it's just not ideal, is it? Like, to get people to try and buy sets, just putting this gold minifigure in there, I think it's a little bit weird. But I think in my opinion anyway, Lego have moved more towards gimmicky stuff and like all these crazy brand deals to try and get more people into Lego, like Marvel and DC and all those kind of things, and they've sort of branched out to try and get more people involved with Lego. But yeah, that's where I stand with Ninjago and things like that. So you'll probably have a lot on this one because next one's Harry Potter. Oh, okay.
So next one is Harry Potter. I'll say my little piece because I don't have a lot to say on the Harry Potter thing. I think the only decent set that Lego Harry Potter, the sort of collab that they've done, the Brandon deal, the only decent set is Diagon Alley. It's the only one for a non-massive Harry Potter fan that I looked at and thought, wow, that's awesome. I need to get that. Whereas all the other sets were like the castles and the bits that you build together. It just never really appealed to me. I think there's probably a lot more they can do with that. But those gift with purchase, the huge big figs, mini figs, whatever we want to call them, they're just horrendous. They look like haunted China dolls of some sort. They're a bit weird. Yeah. But I think there's better ways that they could have done that. In terms of I understand that obviously it's cool to have all those pieces and you can reuse those pieces if you don't have those up on display. But it would have been cool to have just one maybe solid molded piece, like an exclusive thing, maybe designed by Lego and, like some sort of collab maybe. And you could have got those. But I really hate those big figs.
Yeah. Well, I agree there on that point. That's one of the sets that are at least 2021 and specifically Harry Potter in 2021 versus 2020 last year. Yeah, I think it's gone downhill quite a bit. Just me personally.
Mhm.
The reason being is because last year I was really into some of the other sets and the way they were designing some of the play sets that they could actually be put together to make some sort of larger display for someone who wasn't going to be necessarily doing their own custom modular mock series for Harry Potter. So that was pretty cool. In 2021, they changed that a little bit. And these sets that are coming out, you can do that with. But like some other YouTubers who've got their hands on the sets early, you have to, the tiles on the top of the roof are different colors. So you have to replace those roof colors to match the old one from last year. And you also have to put them in a different configuration that's on the box. Like the Great Hall comes apart to play with it. But if you want to put it together to match the other ones, you have to then add them and stack them in a different way so that when you were to just look at that set by itself, it doesn't look like a set. It just looks like a chunk of a building.
So why did they not? Sorry to interrupt. Why did they not think of that? Like, why did the designers not think, yeah, I'll tell you what, let's grab the previous sets. Let's see how we can fit these together with trying to keep as much of the design as we possibly can, instead of just going, screw it. Do you know what? I'm building a complete brand new set, and then we'll just shove them together and see if people buy them.
Maybe that. It could be that. I'm not sure exactly what happens on the LEGO design team, because sometimes some things come out and you're scratching your head going, what the heck? But, I think in 2021, Harry Potter was one of our favorite, one of Stacey's favorites. But she's noticeably this year. She looks at the catalog, and I can tell from her, because she's an adult fan of Lego. It definitely, with the adult fans of Lego, I don't anticipate them buying a whole heck of a lot of that. That is definitely aimed more towards kids who are hardcore Harry Potter fans. And there are some Lego fans that watch your channel that only buy Lego Harry Potter, and so those people will still probably buy it. But for us, and as collectors and generalists, I don't foresee a lot. And a good example in the Harry Potter 2020 line is the two birds, Fox that's coming out, and then the last one, which was Hedwig. Those were not really well designed. A lot of YouTubers had given that really quite low reviews. I did that one in a kind of a fast build motion on a live, and then actually when I went back to finish it and like play with it the other day, it was like, oh wow, this is horrible. It didn't look like an owl flying at all. And
you've got one wing sort of going up this way, and the other one's not doing anything. They do look a bit. To be honest, I find them like, not that I'm petrified of them, but I just find them a bit weird and scary. Like, Hedwig doesn't look like Hedwig at all. I must admit, the Phoenix looks pretty cool. I mean, that would be a nice display piece, but I'm not going to be like, I must have that just because I want to put it up. And I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan, but I mean, it is designed well. It looks pretty cool, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. So Stacey she's not going to buy any of the newer sets, or
she usually buys a lot of the Harry Potter. In the beginning of the year, she bought all 5 or all 4 of the classroom book sets. When they first they were released January 1st. She was on that website at our time, midnight. And she was one of the first people. She added it all to cart. She bought one of all. She really loves Harry Potter. And for her to tell me that, oh, none of these look that good, then that tells me it's like, oh, well, even an adult fan of Harry Potter who likes Lego and buys a lot of it still is like, you know what, something's off about these. And a good example is, you said Diagon Alley. You're not really into it, but most adults would have a blast. If they're Lego fans, they'll have a blast building Diagon Alley. It's a great set. Why did they release Hogsmeade Village as a playset when they could have released Hogsmeade Village in the same way you had released Diagon Alley? It would have just been like, that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. That was one of those things where I thought, because when you actually build the set, spoilers for anybody that hasn't built the set, but there's actually Technic pieces on either side of the end building, so you can sort of have them configured however you want. And that sort of led to speculation where people were thinking, oh, have we got, is there more coming next year? Are we going to have another part of it? And you could extend it. But even just the average fan that's maybe seen the movie once or twice, you think, oh, I remember that from the Philosopher's Stone, or I remember when he had the broomstick or whatever. It's general sort of stuff. But yeah, I do understand all these newer sets. They are. So what exactly do you think it was for Stacey that she just saw the sets and was like, no? Do you think it was just they were designed poorly, or the characters, or was it just nothing that particularly she liked?
Well, I think it was a mixture of the design, because the box even alludes to the fact that these are meant to go together with another set, just like they did in 2020, but it doesn't look as complete, if you know what I mean. Like, good examples like the Polyjuice Potion one. It looks kind of cool. It's a room from that scene in
Yeah.
the movie. But then when you look at the back and you look at the way it's configured moving in, it almost seems like you're buying a chunk of a set, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, she's like,
Yeah.
well, she's like, because I asked her, I was like, what if we just order them to do speed builds on? Because, maybe people will be interested in Harry Potter. And if anybody who's a viewer of both of our channels is watching this right now, they're probably mad at me going, he's not going to buy any Lego Harry Potter in this year. Well, I might not, because Stacy's literally saying, well, if I have to buy one, I have to buy all of them, because you have to put them together, like on the picture on the back of the box. And then if you do that, they're only going to do one video on it, because if you just do a video on that one chunk, it kind of feels like a hollow video, right?
Yeah,
that's the word I think she would use for describing it as hollow. It just feels like the offerings this year, they feel they're missing something in each set. The minifigures, the golden minifigures, and the other things, as we talked about Ninjago, those are just chasers. They're putting it there for sales. I don't think there's a specific reason why they would do this. I think it's because of the anniversary or something, but just a nice excuse, I think.
Yeah, I think that, again, with those chase minifigures, it's one of those where it's like it's put in there for hardcore collectors to be like, yes, I've bought every set, I've got the full set. It's basically bragging rights, isn't it? And I mean, I love Lego, but not to be rude to any of you guys watching this video, but it's literally just gold-colored minifigures. Like, there's nothing amazing. It's not like it's real gold. Do you know what I mean? It's like you'd be chasing them, wouldn't you, if it was real gold or plated gold, something like that, something a bit of value. But to me, it's just like, I think the two that I've seen is there a golden Harry Potter and a golden Voldemort, I think.
Golden Snape.
Golden Snape, yeah.
Golden Ron as well, I think.
It's just like, the Harry Potter one would be cool to have, but I wouldn't go out my way to get it. A bit like you guys.
I'm personally tired of seeing the Harry Potter minifig, because in every set he comes in it. It's like, just leave him out of it. just leave Harry out of it. I've got like 12 copies of Harry Potter, in the drawer, in the minifig drawer. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to like chain them up and create one large torso Harry Potter,
like Human Centipede or something.
Yeah.
I must admit, he must be the most overly used minifigure. He's got to be. I'm sure there's more Harry Potter minifigures than there is Lego police officers. There must be. I'm sure there is at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely overrated.
Replace the police. They should do, something where they've got a video of just sticking Harry Potter minifigures in every Lego set, because they've got all these extras.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of them.
He's got in a modular. He's got in Ninjago set. He's got in this city set. Yeah. Man, he is. I actually didn't think of that. And then when you actually mentioned it, I was like, God, yeah, he's in every set. I suppose, technically, it is Harry Potter, isn't it? The brand is, the theme is Harry Potter. So can you imagine some kid like opening up a set and it's like Harry's house, but Harry's not in it? He's like, oh, God damn it, Harry Potter. Like, just slaps it all over, you know what I mean? I think that pretty much wraps Harry Potter for us.
Yeah.
Next one is 3-in-1, the Creator 3-in-1 series. I'll let you go first on this one, because you've had quite a dealing with these, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've used a lot of these. In fact, everything that's listed on the Lego website as of today, of when we're recording this video, I have at one point owned or made or used in a mock challenge and done a speed build on. Almost every single Creator 3-in-1 I've filmed in stop motion. That being said, it's not insanely popular of a topic. Most people don't like it. They think it's childish, just like the classic line. I personally feel, as I'm getting older, and I've done Lego for almost a year now, in a capacity where I've done Lego when I was a kid a lot, doing it now as an adult, and I'm doing it for video, the content. And what I've noticed is the soul of Lego, to me, is best portrayed by the 3-in-1 line. That's what the point of Lego, to me personally, is. The point of Lego is that you own a building block or a set of blocks. You build something you like that's creative or fun, and then you can take it apart and you can rebuild it to something else. Yeah. That, to me, is the point of Lego. Like, the great ideas and, expert and all the other adult stuff and the flowers and all the Diagon Alley, that's all great. Having a city is great, and I'm nothing against people who have a city, because it is impressive and fun to watch. But the point of Lego is for a toy to be used and reused as an imagination and creativity tool to help kids and adults alike have fun.
Mhm.
So that being said, Creator 3-in-1 is still it's slowly becoming my favorite theme, and one that I want to focus on going forward. Especially,
I definitely didn't think it was 3-in-1.
yeah,
Definitely didn't think it was 3-in-1.
I didn't either. But when you look at the offerings, a good example is 2021, the next half. Every single set that they're releasing in August this year is one that I've looked at and I know I'm going to buy. Versus all the other themes I've looked at, and it's like hit or miss. We've got the castle that can be reconfigured into 3 different medieval village style stuff with a catapult and a dragon. And then you've got a Ferris wheel that does all this other carnival rides, including bumper cars, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Then you have the fish tank that can become an art easel with a parrot drawing on it, as well as a treasure chest with a sword in it.
It looks really, really good.
And even the crocodile, the lowest $10 thing, is a crocodile that looks really, really, really cool. And that crocodile you can turn into a frog and one other animal. I think it's an animal-based one. So every single one of the 4 sets that are coming out in Creator 3-in-1, to me, they're like automatic buys. And the price per piece is great. They're one of the most economical sets. So if you're trying to do Lego on a budget, that's the best bang for your buck. If you were to say, hey, Aaron, or Aaron or Lewi, what should you buy in 2021? If you don't have a lot of money and you want to have enough bricks to make mocks, you buy Creator 3-in-1. That's the best bang for your buck.
I must admit, seeing you sitting there describing 3-in-1, it is basically the core of Lego, isn't it? It takes everything back to the basics. It's not about any particular theme in general. It's not city. It's not some animal set. It's like there's 3 sets in one, and you can build one of these. Like, good example is that the alien spaceship one. You can make like a mech. You can make like is it the Mars rover or something that you can make with it? And then there's like another cool set that I don't think it even remotely. Oh, actually, I think is it like a lab or something like that you can do? It's like 3 complete sets.
You can do the laboratory research, and then we use that as a challenge with Lego Fan UK, and I came up with it's a hovering spaceship that collects junkyard trash.
You see that, like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they literally are endless. There's a guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name. I think it's like Brick Ideas, but he's been around for a long couple of years. But he uses one of the sets for the fire dragon that he's used. He's done 45 alternative build videos on YouTube on that set, and they're really good, including salamanders, frogs, mechs, spaceships, speeders. Like, he's done everything, and they all look like they're like that. Looks like an official set from Lego.
Yeah, so that even the one we did the mock challenge on, the shark one. Yeah, I thought that was a brilliant set. There was a brilliant selection of pieces. Some cool like luminous translucent pieces, like the fluorescent yellow that was in there, or the green. And like, I think what I came up with was some sort of like space vehicle and an alien. I can't remember what I named the alien, but it was that long ago. But yeah, I totally agree with you in terms of like, what you're saying there, the best value for money, best playability, best creativeness, if you want to call it that, and rebuildable. It fits all those categories, doesn't it? So technically, we've just underlined probably the best Lego theme in general without realizing it. But like I said, I don't really have a lot.
But it's a personal thing too, though, because most people they look at Lego differently than we do, and you do as well, because we view it similarly, but we also have differences because everybody likes different Lego stuff. And some people like, and a lot of adults, they like the displayable sets. They want to build something and have it look nice on the shelf, have that curb appeal. That's it. So 3-in-1 for them is horrible. They don't touch it, with the 10-foot pole.
It's weird that you mentioned that, like thinking that, because you don't really think of it, do you? You just think, oh, well, somebody likes that set. You don't see it as, oh, well, they view Lego differently. Like, there's a lot of people that will probably mention it a little bit later on in the video, but the teal brick, the 2x4 brick that was a gift for purchase, I saw that and I immediately hated it. But then the feeling that I got generally around the Lego YouTube community was, it's a great build. It's like, it's one of those ones that I hope they bring out more colors in the future and that I can build a little collection. But I really didn't. I although it's one of my favorite colors in the actual bricks, I was just like, I could care less, to be honest. So yeah, that raises a good point that people do view Lego differently. And obviously me, I like the modulars. You guys like a lot of the playable sets with the cool features and things like that. And 3-in-1 with the playability. So yeah, I think we'll tie that one up. Next one is Creator Expert. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you're the expert on this one. You've got that's probably, I'm assuming, your favorite theme, right?
It's a toss up. It's a toss up between Creator Expert and the modular series and Brickheadz. Although I don't have many Brickheadz, I only have the 2. But I think if I started collecting them, I wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
So I'm holding myself back. So maybe if there's like 1 or 2 that come out, that I'd be like, yes, I need to buy them. But I'll get into that when we get to Brickheadz. Otherwise, I'll be rambling on for ages.
Yeah.
Creator Expert, yes, is one of my favorites. I love modulars. I love city building. It's what I've wanted to do since I was a kid. And then sort of bringing that forward with me throughout my adult life and getting into it again, becoming an AFOL. It's one of my favorite sets. There's just so many things that, to me anyway, you can do with them. You can have them set up as cities. You can have them set up just randomly dotted around the room. Like I've got the medieval one over that side, modular. I don't know what it is about the sets. Like that police station is probably one of my favorite modulars, like in terms of the Creator Expert lineup. But did you ever go past like a model train shop or a hobby shop and they had like a little setup, like with the trains and stuff going around? To me, this is like my version of that, if that makes sense. It's just like setting up a little city, a little place where this is probably going to get quite deep, actually. I didn't realize I was going to go this deep, but this world that I create here is far better from the one outside, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's like I don't have certain things that exist in real life that exist in my city, and vice versa. It's like a safe haven, I suppose. It's like, yes, there's so-and-so walking down the street. They're not going to get hit by a car. They're not going to lose somebody they love. It is a bit, yeah, I can understand people might think it's a bit weird, but to me, it's like the perfect world. And I suppose if you've ever seen the Lego movie, it's kind of like The Father, where he's building this perfect city and he's gluing everything in together. It's a bit like that for me. But this year, I think some of the modulars the Creator Expert have brought out this year, they've hit out the park. They're brilliant for me. But especially the police station. The police station is, it's the gem. It's the gem, I think. The creme de la creme, as it were. What about you?
I do enjoy the Creator Expert. The Creator Expert series is more, I assume, at least everybody watching this probably views this way as well. They're more targeted towards adults, not only because they're harder to build. Excuse me, sorry about that. Not because they're harder to build, but they're more pieces and they're more expensive, so it's usually something that the adults can afford. So they usually put more time in. The modular series from Creator Expert, I love. I was not a big fan of modulars the beginning of getting back into Lego, just because I figured, hey, to really display them well, you need to have a lot of them and you need to have city. But just for what you get as far as the pieces in the set, the actual instruction set, and what the builds are, the good examples of the police station, it's very good. It's very well built. The little builds on the inside and the details are fabulous. So you can take some of those building techniques and put that into your other mocks, like that water cooler. I will never probably come up with my own, because that water cooler to me is perfect. I think that's a great water cooler. I know the whole set's this whole thing. I'm raving about this little water cooler.
Well, it's your own opinion, isn't it? It's like, so for instance, let's just answer this question on the set. Favorite detail apart from the water cooler?
The crack on the back. It's a little detail like that sells it. It's like you've got this Shawshank Redemption thing going on. Great.
Yeah.
But Creator Expert, I feel like this year was good. Previous years, 2020, good. But from what I've heard from other people, some years has not been so good. So going forward into 2022 and the rest of this year, I don't think the Marvel one's not considered Creator Expert. That's a Marvel set, right?
Yeah, that's a Marvel exclusive. Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the rest of the year will bring for Creator Expert. It seems like they're bringing out a lot of other builds that aren't modular, to be honest.
Yeah, I would like an official hospital like modular build, but then I would like a college or a school, or there's a whole host of lists that this one's probably not popular with a lot of people, but I'd love personally a care home or a residential home, like just because to me it's more realistic. It's something that is real life, and I mean nobody has to die in the set or anything like that. It just could be a fun loving home with old people, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that some of that stuff comes out. But I've kind of got like one of my wishes come true in them having like an actual office block in the Marvel set. But yeah, we'll probably get around to that pretty soon. Is there anything else you wanted to add on to Creator Expert?
No, other than we enjoyed it. A lot of the offerings are varied, so I think it's good. Creator Expert is not going to go anywhere. It's one of their flagship products. So as far as predictions, it's really a toss-up. That line, Creator Expert, is kind of random.
Exactly, yeah. So Botanical is our next theme. I personally don't own any of them, but I can see why a lot of people do. The one that stands out for me is probably the Bonsai Tree. I just think it looks cool. I love bonsai trees. It's so therapeutic. It sort of comes with that like calming sort of theme, doesn't it? And I suppose it fits in if you got, you know, a space in your living room for it or your kitchen or where it can go anywhere. The other ones look pretty cool. What do you guys think?
By me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Botanical series because it goes down to the whole theme of, do you just want to build the one set and then display that set forever on your shelf and have to dust it all the time? And, you know, what's the point? Because that's me personally. But then Stacy, the other half of Brick Fun 101, she bought every single set of the Botanicals. So I've seen them, and she built them, a couple of them. We still have the flower bouquet to build, but she's built the roses. She's built the bonsai tree. And she's probably going to buy the future ones. And those sets, I think they can get away with it because every set is specifically made for home decoration, right? I mean, that's you're not going to take the flowers and fight with them, right? I mean, how would I mean? The paradise are swooping in. You know, it's like I don't know. So it's that to me makes sense. I understand why she buys them. I understand why she likes them. She's going to display them somewhere. But for me personally, you know, I don't know.
God, make me cry with the two flowers fighting each other. That was quite funny. I get where you're coming from. I suppose you could buy them and then just not build the flowers and just part them out or use the parts for something else. But I think it's been a theme that Lego took a long time to sort of conjure up and think, oh yeah, let's do a flower series. Like they could have done this ages ago. I mean, the last 10 years they could have done this. But yeah, I think they were probably a little bit late on it, but now that they're doing it, I think that some of them do look pretty cool. But the only one, like I said, is the bonsai tree for me, I think. That's the only one that stands out. The other one that looks pretty cool. So next one, Marvel, the Marvel series. What's your thoughts? I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Marvel, we're not huge Marvel fans in general, but we do like some, you know, Spider-Man stuff. We normally buy those sets just because people are requesting us to do videos on it, or that we had some sort of appeal to us. Like the good example was a set that was marketed really well online, and the pictures of it looked really nice. Was the Batman? Or actually, no, sorry, that's a different theme. I'm going into DC, right? Yeah, no, that's not Marvel. Yeah, then as far as Marvel, there's been no sets that in my recent recollection that have had any sort of appeal to us. Price per value, not as good as some of the other themes we've already talked about because the licensing with the theme of itself with Marvel. I know the big one you like is the Daily Bugle, and I'm probably the only YouTuber to ever say this, and so a lot of people will get mad at me for this, but I don't think the Daily Bugle is that impressive, to be honest. It's only impressive because for the price you're getting 25 minifigs. To me, That's a cha-ching.
Yeah.
That's great. Good value for money.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to not display the set because I don't think it's that impressive and I'm going to mock it into something else, thank you for all the windows and gray pieces. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I'm getting with it is gray and windows.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. Like that, like we said before, we've discussed offline that obviously Spider-Man was my childhood, that and wrestling. So Spider-Man was like a big part in that. And I think some of the things that are in that set really ring like some nostalgic alarm bells sort of in me. So I'm like, oh my God, there's like Venom and Carnage and all those other characters. And it's one of those ones that really stands out. Obviously, it would fit great in the city because it's such a huge building. It's a basically a huge office block that could be mocked into something else. But I do understand where you're coming from. It is just a bunch of windows and grey pieces when you look at it for the parts that it is. So basically, it's windows and grey pieces with a bunch of minifigures, basically. Yeah. But I kind of feel like, on a negative note, I kind of feel like it copied the police station a little bit, because if you notice, there's got the little newsstand on the outside that's like basically the same build. Not to say that people can't use the same build in sets, but I thought they could have done something else original with it. There could have been something else in that space. Maybe Jonah Jameson. I've probably butchered that. That's coming back from memory. He's like a slot for his private car or something, and his car could have been parked there all trashed up. Or, but yeah, like other than that, the other stuff for Marvel is not really great for me. Like I do like some of the mechs that they did. Captain America. Who else did they do? Miles Morales, and there was a third one, but was it Thor? Mm-hmm. Thor was the third one, and I thought they were pretty cool. But it was basically just a bunch of pieces thrown, some cool minifigures that have been released in this set anyway. So it kind of seems pointless now. But yeah, that's my thought on the Marvel sets. They're not amazing, but they're not like really bad either. Like some of the other sets that we've talked about, or themes that we've talked about.
I think last 2020. I think for me personally, I thought they were better in 2020. Good examples like the Avengers Helicarrier. The Helicarrier was a great one.
It never shouted out to me. It was never one that I was like, yes, I need to go and pick that up off the shelf and build that. I mean, I'd probably enjoy it once I built it, but whenever I go out and build sets, I don't know about you, but you sort of have the replayability and rebuildable sort of style to how you buy sets, or whether people want to see them reviewed. Whereas me, I always see a set and I think, how can I remock that and put it into a city? That's literally all that goes through my head. And so I see, like, say, for instance, the gas station. It wasn't a full gas station, but I was like, do you know what? I'm going to buy that for the pieces, mock it up, and build it into the city, basically. And that's what I do with every set. I literally look for buildings or vehicles or something like that, especially if there's a decent amount of minifigures and a decent amount of parts. It could be remocked into something else. And yeah, vice versa. There's loads of cool ideas, but I'm starting to ramble now. So with that, I'll move on to what I thought was Aaron's favorite set or favorite theme was Monkey Kid. What is going on? How could we ditch Monkey Kid?
It's not that I ditched Monkey Kid. It's that there is a couple problems with the series. One of them is the way the waves have come out. Wave 1 was when it first started, and Wave 2 was last year. Wave 3 is this year. Wave 1 was really decent. It was pretty good. And it took the world by storm, I think, in a way, because of the way that it had the Ninjago style theme to it. But it was different because of the colors and the manuals and the packaging. Everything about it screamed. It was very cool to us, at least, viewing at it. And we're adults, and I still think it's cool. Like, I know I'm a big kid at heart and everything, but the packaging looks appealing even to me, looking at it in all the ways. But the actual sets and what they were, Wave 2 was just a rehash and rebuilds of everything in Wave 1. And Wave 3 is a mixed bag this year. The legendary Fruit Flower Mountain, that's hard to say 3 times, by the way. Fruit Flower Mountain. That one is crazy good. And then some of the other ones are just kind of, you know. The Spider Queen was really good. I see that on like the Plastic Architects shelf. Some other adult fans that you'd never think would like Monkey Kid. Yeah. They have that like Arachnid Queen on their set. Yeah.
Yeah. The one I thought that was really good, This is another series that I've never owned any of the sets. I think I got, because what was funny is they tried to sort of put Monkey Kid into the minifigure series, or they did anyway, and I got the Monkey Kid or the Monkey King or whatever his name is in the minifigure series. And I thought, oh, I wonder what the hell this is. It just looks like a random sort of theme. And then when Monkey Kid started to come about, I was like, oh yeah, that looks familiar. But what I thought that was interesting is that there's a lot of builds in the Monkey Kid set that could be remocked into something else. And it's almost, to me, from, again, an outsider looking in, those sets could be built into so many different things. They could be made into modulars. They could be made into other play sets. There's such a variety of pieces from what I've seen through your videos, reviews, other animations that involve the set. I think that there's a lot of cool pieces that could be reused and rebuilt into something else. And I think that's probably the number one reason why, if it did sort of fizzle out, I'd be a bit bummed out, and I'd probably try and rush to buy a couple of sets so that I at least have some of those parts. The one you bought recently, the cargo ship, I thought that looks fantastic. It's a brilliant set, loads of color. It's really engaging. There's, like you said, the instructions were really bold and out there, and there was a lot of cool sort of graphics and art and stuff on there that Lego don't usually do. So they're obviously really trying to push this theme. And in all honesty, I hope it doesn't fizzle out and sort of, obviously with the Ninjago being more popular of the Oriental themes, I hope they don't push Monkey Kid completely out. Maybe reduce the amount of sets that they bring out. But yeah, I think it's a good solid theme. I really do think it's...
I think it's a nice theme too, and in no way by me saying the next following statement doesn't mean that I don't like it, but I have a feeling that we probably will die out within a couple of years, to be honest, unless they do really good releases that spike up sales with the fourth wave, whenever that is. I can't imagine it staying around for too long, especially because Ninjago's releases have been pretty solid. So
yeah. So the next one is Brickheadz. So in terms of this year, they did a really good wave for the Brickheadz. They did the pets version. I know last year they did the Buckbeak and Hagrid, which was really cool and exclusive if you bought the diagonally, which I thought was brilliant. And that's what kind of got me into the Brickheadz. The reason I don't have more is because I'd probably end up having a whole room full of them, because they're a bit like Pops, but way better. But yeah, the pet series that were released this year, the fish, the dogs that you guys built on a live stream, they were super cool. Although some of them didn't quite look like the breed of dog that they were trying to portray, I could see where they were going with it, and it was cool that you had the little bed and things like that. I know Stacey loves Brickheadz, so what I want to know is, what do you think about the newest Brickheadz and about the theme in general?
Theme in general, I think is doing pretty good this year. I like the animals earlier in the year were really good. They appealed to me because they had more of that classic Lego feel. But that being said, as far as just pop culture icons, because it is very much like a pop collectible. You have different movies and different themes that Lego are licensed to have, and the ones that are coming out, I think, are really, really good. All of the sets are going to be ones we buy, not just because Stacey's really into it, but because me personally, I think they look great. The Minions ones with Belle and Gru for the new movie, those actually look really cute. If you look at the Gru and the Belle and the way that they're actually made really quite nicely. They look good on the shelf, and I know that's a weird thing to say with the Brickheadz, because I'm not a shelf display, but we've got a shelf here that's literally all Brickheadz for Stacey, and I've had to look at a lot of them, and I can kind of tell which ones were done well and ones that have surprised us last year. Like last year, the Lady Liberty, Statue of Liberty one, I looked at that and said, that's going to be horrible, and then we built it and we put it up. We're like, that looks really good actually in person. And from these pictures, every new thing in 2021, when you look at it comparatively to older year Brickheadz, it has something about it that's different and makes it unique and is good, including like last year they had that Monkey Kid one, which was really, or Monkey King one, which was cool. And this year the new ones that are coming out that I think is going to be the biggest Brickhead set and it's going to sell out consistently is the Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie one.
Yes, DuckTales for sure.
Yes, it's going to sell out real quick. Also, Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Hagrid. That one's also going to sell out. because it's the trio, the original kids, plus a Hagrid, and those actually look fabulous as well. The only thing I have a gripe on that set is the Harry Potter glasses make him look like he's bug-eyed. That's the only
yeah. I know what you mean. I think the DuckTales set is probably one that I'll try and pick up because it was a cartoon that I watched when I was a kid. But I think that's, for me, from those Brickhead sets that you've mentioned, that's probably the only one that stands out a massive deal. Like, yeah, the Harry Potter one's cool, but I suppose it depends on what you relate to the most. If you're a big Harry Potter fan, yeah, you're gonna grab that one straight away. Or if you're a massive Disney fan, or you just like having them in the collection, yeah, you're getting 4 for what's the average price of a Brickhead now? Is it like
15.
between 5, 15? Right.
Yeah,
So
I would say anywhere between 10 to 30. And if you buy a $30 Brickhead, it's one that comes with like 3 or 4 things. Like the DuckTales, 25, because it comes with 4 figures at that point. So I think it's for price, for piece, and what you're getting, and the fact that they're already licensed themes like DuckTales or Disney or things like that. Usually Lego charges more for those because of that. But the fact that the pricing is consistent and the pieces versus the price are all on point, and the most you'll ever spend, I think, on a Brickhead from Lego new would be around $30, I think. Yeah. You'll pay a lot more if you're going to be getting retired because these things grow in value. Just like any other Lego set. So if I wanted an old one like the Mickey or Minnie Mouse, they're both at $80 to $100 now.
Yes, it's weird because they I suppose they are like pops, aren't they? Pops, range in value depending on how long you've had them or whether they're retired now. And like these, like just take for instance that the Stormtrooper Brickhead, the Darth Vader Brickhead, those two were something that you guys passed up on. And we're just like, yeah, we'll be able to get them another time, but they literally sold out, and their range in value, they go up and down all the time. I've got like a list on eBay where I check Brickhead prices just because I'm interested. And one day a Stormtrooper could be set at, 35 and it's retired and it's sealed and it's boxed. The next day, because maybe something's come out on the Mandalorian or something's been on the TV, it shoots up in price. So you're looking at $110 or pounds or wherever it is that you're coming from. So yeah, they're crazy in terms of price that way and value. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, what we wanted to add is the way that Brickheads work. We hope they don't discontinue Brickheads. They seem to be doing well.
Yes.
But you never know with these sort of things because with Brickheads, it's really hit or miss in the Lego community. I think you and I are one of the only handful of people that I know of personally that enjoy Brickheads. A lot of other AFOLs, you'll see their Lego room and they have like 1 or 2. And that's it. And they don't really care for Brickheads and they'll never really buy it unless it's gift with purchase. Like Lego Fan UK, he has Hagrid because it was gift with purchase Diagon Alley. But then a lot of other people won't ever buy it. And that's what I think they're trying to do with the rest of the year because they have another set that's releasing, I think tomorrow, June 1st. It's the Dalmatian. For $15, you get the mama dog and the little baby dog inside of that little pet holder. So they're trying to get people to get into it, but I really hope they don't discontinue it because I have a lot of fun with them. I know Stacy loves them to death. And actually, let me just show you. Do we have time to show you something that I acquired?
Go right ahead. Yeah. Why not? Why not? I mean, I've only got the 2, but if more come out that I'm really into, like if they make a Michael Jordan one, I'm straight buying that.
Well, I want them to make new ones, but some of the older ones are cool if you can find a deal on them. And I have this one, which is Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yes. I think Jess would love that. She's big on Johnny Depp, and especially the Pirates of the Caribbean. So is that sealed? Is that one that will never open?
This is sealed for now, but I think we got a little deal on it. This was only $30 US, which isn't much more than you'd buy it for. Yeah, that's why I bought it.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
And then this one, which is usually $120, which I found for someone on eBay, who I put a bid on it. And I thought, oh, it was just a spam bid. They're not really real. Yeah. Well, it was real, and I got this for $20. Look, you won't believe. The original one.
Whoa.
The original.
That is the deal of the century.
This is worth $120 usually on Amazon and on eBay. I found somebody bidding on it, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a bidding war, or he's going to remove it at the last minute. Yeah. They put a bid on it for the lowest amount and got it.
Damn. Whoa.
So this one, I'm not sure if it's going to be sealed or not. And then Stacy bought 2 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I think you'll like this one because this is kind of my personality. She says I get angry. So it's the Hulk.
The Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool
one. And then this one, which we're proud of, the box is messed up. So we're probably going to take it out of the box. But I think you'll like this one.
That's another good one. That is one of the ones, yeah. But 1980s, you can't really beat the film.
I know how the box is all messed up. So that's why it was on sale though on Amazon because it wasn't new. They listed it as boxed. It's damaged.
Are you really bothered about the box if Stacey's just going to rip it open and build it?
No, that's why I was saying, hey, the box.
That's how good that. Yeah. And it's a gripe that I'll get to the end of the video. I mean, people need to really buy more used Lego than buy brand new stuff.
Yeah.
If you're recycling and doing all that sort of thing. But next one is probably one that I'm just going to talk about.
Too much candy
there. Star Wars. Guys, I don't care. I honestly don't care. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. This is probably the only Star Wars thing I own, apart from a set that is for Stacey. And I am tempted to smash it with a hammer, but yeah, it's a gift for somebody, so it's not going to happen. Aaron.
Star Wars has always been what it is. It's not, I don't think this year got any worse or better than last year. I think it's on point. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I think it's still overpriced for what you get compared to some of the other sets. There are some cool ones that are coming out the rest of the year, though, that I think will not save the year for me, but make it better. A good example, we did the Imperial Shuttle this year. I didn't like this Imperial Shuttle. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was a little overblown. But the next one coming out, we already pre-order it, and we're going to do a set on it because I know my cousins are really into it, and so that's why I got it, which was the Bad Batch Shuttle. So I pre-ordered that, so that's going to come. Yeah. And that's the big hype set, just kind of like the 501st was last year.
Yeah.
So that one I think is the one to buy if you're only going to buy one Lego set between now and the next 4 or 5 months till the end of the year. The Bad Batch Shuttle looks like it's a pretty good offering when you look at the pieces you get, you look at the price, you look at the minifigures you get. That's the one to get. Imperial Shuttle or anything else earlier in the year, you could probably skip on, to be honest, even if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, unless you're one of the weirdos like I am, which like the microfighters for some reason. I think the microfighters are hilarious. They just look so weird. It's like watching a minifigure, like little kid, go to a theme park and get on those theme bumper cars.
And ride the ride. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally get what you're from with that. Yeah.
The Microfighters Series 8 was good this year. They were pretty good.
Yeah, I think the thing that bothers me about Star Wars the most, because I don't have anything positive to say about it, is the fact that it's just the same recycled stuff. But then people could say that about Brickheadz. People could say that about the modulars, Marvel, because yes, if you like a certain theme, it does get repetitive after a while. But yeah, I was never really a big Star Wars kid, and yeah, Star Wars kind of sucks. So.
There's also, we should note here that I should just note for you that even though Lewi 2x4 hates Star Wars and that we're friends with Lewi, does not mean we also hate Star Wars. I grew up and I would do lightsaber fights in my backyard with the neighborhood kids. So I was really into it. But that being said, as a Lego theme, as we've done more and more of them, I don't know how some guys do their YouTube channel, they only do Star Wars.
Yeah,
that would drive me insane. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. So anybody asking, it's not that we hate it. I'm getting tired of the Star Wars theme, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be said the same for the like Lego City and stuff like that. People would be like, well, because I mainly base my channel off the City stuff, so people would be like, oh, well, I don't really like City, so I'm not going to bother. So yeah, it's vice versa. It's different opinions. Yep. Next one, we've only got. We've got 5 more. Jesus, this is going to be a long video. We've got ideas.
Oh, okay. I think you should go there first. Right? Have you had any of the ideas? I think you've had a couple, right? 2 of them?
Yeah. Actually, remind me.
Lego ideas was Winnie the Pooh, Sesame Street.
No. Medieval was ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, was ideas. Was the Haunted House in ideas? Or was that just a
Creator.
random set?
It was Creator.
Or was it Creator? Yeah, so, I mean, some of them are cool that I've wanted to grab hold of, but it's not ones that I would love to sit up and display. Like the Medieval is probably one of my favourite sets of all time that I own currently. It's one of those ones that will never come down. I will never strip it for parts. It'll always be sat there. And I think it was, although it slightly changed from the actual idea submission, I think that they probably did it for a good reason, and that the adjustments probably worked really well. Some of the playable features, the minifigures and stuff like that, some new pieces that I saw, and some really, really creative use of those. Do you remember the Nexo Knight series, the line that they had? They had the shield pieces, and I thought it was a really, really cool idea to have those as sort of like tiles on the roof, which I think they've done with the Harry Potter now, haven't they? They've changed that over to that same design. But there's a lot of cool idea sets that I'd probably like to get my hands on. There's a new one that's coming out, the Everyone is Awesome set, which I believe, is that an idea set, or is that just I can't remember whether it is actually an idea set.
Let me look that up.
Aaron's doing the Googling for us. That was the countdown theme, if you guys didn't know.
They're putting it as a miscellaneous. They're not sorting it.
Miscellaneous? Oh, right, fair enough. My bad. I thought that was an ideas. So the other ideas, the friend sets look pretty cool, but I would never buy them just to keep up displayed. I'll probably rip them apart for parts and printed pieces. The only other idea set I think that I was really into was the dinosaur set. You know, the one that was like had the 3 big giant dinosaurs. That was probably really cool, and it was just another set that I was going to put into a modular. So, what about you, Aaron? You've had quite a few of the ideas, I think.
I've had quite a few of them, including some ones that I could classify more as a playset, even though they're made for Ideas, which is a display series, like the Tron. I love that one. I know that's not a 2021 set; it's an older one.
Yeah.
The 2021 Ideas have been okay. Sesame Street for me was, I know it's gonna be funny because we didn't do a video on it. I did a video on it, but it was so terrible on the stop motion side, I couldn't post it because it was so bad. And that wasn't reflective on the set. That was just my skill level, and I was trying to do something different, and it failed. But the set is okay. We're gifting it to a personal friend who's really into Sesame Street. But yeah, none of the idea sets, to be honest, this year were that particularly great, including, and I know you're going to hate me for this because I know it's your favorite set, but the Medieval Blacksmith is okay, but it's not one that I would display.
Seriously? I thought your views were different on that. I think, yeah, like you said, obviously, it's not one of your favorites, but I can see why people say that. It's if you're not into knights and Dungeons and Dragons and all that sort of stuff, it kind of just gets pushed to one side. It was another one of the things that I grew up with, not Dungeons and Dragons, but Knight's Tales and stories and things like that. So I just thought it was cool, and it was a cool set to have displayed up. And I managed to add like a couple of extra minifigures to it as well. So
I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons, so I should like it.
You should like this set.
Yeah. I think the reason it gets me for that is because we tried to enter the blacksmith competition like 4 times. And they kept rejecting my stop motion, so I was just like, I don't even like this set anymore.
No matter how many voiceovers we did to try and get this video through, they just didn't want it. I think they knew the skill level and the professional level of what we were trying to put forward. And they're just like, no, we're not having it. We don't want like 2, 25-plus-year-olds to win the set. We want like a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old to win the set. Somebody that actually needs it type thing. I think that's probably what it was.
Maybe. I don't think that, because I don't know. It wasn't that great, but what we did. I'm not saying that you're horrible, or we're not. It wasn't, the stop motion quality wasn't that good. So
I think it was good. I think it worked really well, but that's for another video. That's a whole other run for another video. Speed Champions. I know there hasn't been many being released this year.
Yeah.
There are some that I've had previously that are really, really good. And then some of the new ones that I see that are coming out, it's just like, I'm not really a big car lover, to be honest. I don't drive. I'm not really big into cars. I'm like, it's another car. It's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel,
Yeah.
But I mean, I have built some in the past. Like the Nissan was a really cool build that I got for my birthday last year. But But some of the new ones, I'm just like, it's just another car, to be honest.
I like some of them. It's not because I'm a car guy, because I'm not. I do drive. I have owned many cars over my lifetime. Because I'm getting old now. You know, I'm in my mid-30s. So it's like I'm getting older now. But it's one of those things where, you know, I can take it or leave it. I like the fact that they're going to 8 stud wide, though. I love that you have a more realistic feel of the minifigure size versus when you get in the car. It feels like there's a front seat with 2 people or somewhat of a back seat, depending on the model. So I like the Speed Champions because they've moved to that 8 stud wide format. That being said, the price per value is pretty decent on these things. And the fact that you get some nice printing and some not printing, so you get nice stickers. I know a lot of people hate stickers, but when you use the stickers, some of them can be actually fairly good if you place it well. I myself am horrible at it, so if you do a good job, they'll probably last a little longer. But some of the new sets for 2021, I think, are better than 2020.
Yes.
So I think it's moving in the right direction. I think what would really sell it, though, is if they can put out a set that wasn't just a racing set. Like, you know how they have that, like, scaffolding with, like, the red and green lights for every set? It's like, get rid of that. Can you put something else in the build instead of that? Just anything else.
Yeah.
Like, anything car. What about a pit stop place, right? Where you got a guy, like, doing the tires? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that, I mean, it does stick around that theme of racing because racing's associated with cars and, you know, motorsports in general. But it would be cool just to have maybe a taxi as the other car in the set, and then maybe just some really cool looking Tesla type thing. It doesn't always have to be involved with racing and dirt racing and all that sort of stuff. Because then I think that it'd make it more valuable to people just to collect and buy, just to have extra vehicles to place in the city. We're getting down to the last 3 sections, guys, so I'll probably have to split this into so many sections, part 1 to 100 or whatever it is. But Minecraft is one that I've not touched a lot of. Obviously, I've played the game. It's cool, it's fun. It gets boring for me really, really quickly. But in terms of the actual sets, I've never really looked at the set and thought, yes, I need to buy this Lego set. What about you, Aaron?
Same. When we first got back into Lego in 2020, started the pandemic, I saw these boxes, and because of the blocky nature and the fact that I never played Minecraft, it was immediate, which I think is a lot of adult fans of Lego. You've never played the game, you don't know anything about it, and just looking for the box, you were probably not going to buy it, unless there's a specific minifigure or piece you're after. But after you give it a shot, and over the last year, I've built, oh my gosh, maybe 30 Minecraft sets or less, maybe 20.
Bunch, isn't it?
Yeah, 20 Minecraft sets into it. I think it's grown on me to the point where it's one of my I'm more inclined to like Minecraft, believe it or not, than some other sets, because the play features are really, really quite ingenious. What you can do with just the blocky configurations, you can actually come up with a lot of things to explode, walls that come down, moving parts, mine carts, mine shafts, water features that go up and down with skeletons. I mean, it's got everything. And when you mix that with the fact that you get nice colors and the price is actually for a licensed product, its prices aren't outrageous. Like most of the time, the price is pretty decent price per or cost per piece. There's only been a couple Minecraft sets that have been kind of like, that's a little overkill. But most of them, in my opinion, are good. And in 2021, I definitely feel that the sets have continued to be just as good, if not a little bit better than last year, with the exception of one this year, which was the Trade Caravan one. The only reason you'd buy that is if you wanted the llamas, to be honest. Everything else in the set is kind of just redundant. But everything else, the bee farm was great.
Yeah, I like the I can't remember the name of the set, but it was purple on one side, and it was like they had the part where you could drop it down. It was like a bridge. You did it fairly recently. I thought that was probably in my opinion, the best looking Minecraft set, because there were so many sort of translucent pieces, and I was just like, that it kind of stands out a little bit. I think they go hand in hand together, though, don't they? You know, Minecraft obviously being a building game, and Lego being a company that provides bricks and things like that. But yeah, the sets this year have been sort of on point, I think, relatively good, and they always try to change it up and make something different from what they released, previously, which is always good. Now we're getting to the nitty and gritty. So we've got 2 two sets here that we're both sort of on the fence about, or two themes, sorry, that we're both on the fence about. One is Mario, the Mario Super Nintendo thing. Yeah, Aaron knows how I feel about this theme. And the other one is the video. What would you rather end on a positive or a negative?
Well, unfortunately, with both of them, they're both kind of negatives to both of them. So whatever you want. I mean, if you want to talk about both of, we should probably just talk about both at the same time.
Yeah, right. So my gripe with the Mario stuff that they released this year, and that they're going to release Luigi BS, is it is just a branding deal. This plastic thing that literally doesn't involve Lego at all. That you don't build up, you don't create, it's there, and it's like, this is Mario, here, have it in your face. The sets are overpriced. They're just, for me, it's, a lot of people have loved the set, like the theme, but to me, it's just one of those ones that's gone straight over my head. I'm just like, nope, it's not for me. What about you, dude?
Same thing, but the only thing to add to that is that Lego's defense in this regard is that you can use their application, download it for all the instructions, which is a horrible way to build. I used to think that was awesome, but it's not. I like the paper instructions better. Yeah. Anyway, you download the app and you design your own courses, so it has infinite replayability. The problem is it's all the same scanning, it's all the same points and coins. You have to buy more sets to get more of the little scan pieces, tile pieces. Yeah. It's really not building Lego so much as building an adventure course, really, is what it is. You're building some sort of course for this figure to play through. I still haven't found a use for this.
Throw it out the window.
Well, I've been trying to find a use for it. I really can't. If you're not going to be doing Lego Mario with it, there's really nothing you can do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's for me, when it came out, we had a brief discussion on a live stream, and I was just like, I'm not really. I mean, from the look of it, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's all built out of Lego. But then when I actually saw the videos and the proper release pictures, I thought, this is just another thing that Lego and Nintendo are trying to shove in our faces and think, oh yeah, buy this because it helps us with a branding deal. The Super Nintendo, was that an expert set? Or was it just like an ideas set, I think?
Was it ideas?
Yeah, ideas set, yeah. Well, the Super Nintendo set in general, I thought that was brilliant. The way it was done, the way it was created, all the tech behind it, the playability, the fact that you could have Mario jumping up and down on the TV while you were technically playing the game was awesome. But to have just basically a bunch of plastic in a set, it just seems to me like a complete waste. And I suppose this is probably coming from my little eco warrior inside of me. Like Lego as it is, I love it. And it may seem a little bit odd, but I hate seeing plastic waste. And in every set, there's this huge chunk of plastic that what happens when you don't need them anymore? Or it'll probably just get thrown in the bin and somebody will put it in landfill. It doesn't get resold or reused. It just gets thrown away. Whereas these like solid bricks, for instance, you can use this infinite amount of times. Like if you didn't want it, somebody else would have it and they would use it, or vice versa. So I think that's probably my gripe with the whole Mario thing. Not the Super Nintendo set, but the Mario set in itself. It seems overpriced, a bit forced, a bit more like we're trying to be suckered into moving towards, oh, well, I like that Nintendo set. I'll buy a Nintendo product, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's in my experience with it, we just bought the starter course and nothing else. And we buy a lot of Lego, and that's probably telling. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people like me where we bought the starter set, figured it wasn't for us. Yet look at how many character packs they've got on their second wave already. There continues to be more. They're releasing Luigi. It might be a theme that's here to stay due to a brand deal. Like there's a contract, or it could be that maybe just everybody in the world loves Lego Mario except for me, which also might be the case. Maybe everybody loves this, and you and me talking here, we are the only two people that dislike it, which could be the case.
Yeah, because I mean, like we saw, me personally, we spoke offline, and I was saying, how does this thing get 1 million views? How does it get so many views? And I'm thinking it is just, to me, and this is where this comes in, because it's not meant to offend anybody. This is just our opinion, or my opinion at the moment, is that it's just a chunk of plastic with a little bit of like tech in it. I mean, yeah, it's cool and it's interactive, but it seems to me that they're trying to take as many things out of the sort of theme and sell it off and try and make as much money as possible, if that makes sense.
Well, definitely. I mean, that's the profit. The whole idea about companies going in business, and Lego's no exception, is they're a for-profit company. I mean, at the end of the day, they need to make money and stay in business. And so they have to do what it takes to survive. Although with the soul of Lego, I would hope, is providing a service via entertainment to people, children and adults alike. You would think they would make good decisions as far as how it relates to both financially viable for the company at the same time of delivering a product. And I think that this is just another example of why life is so great, though. And I know I don't want to go too tangent. Life is great because there's so many different choices and everybody's different, right?
Yes.
But this is the thing that I personally I really don't like it. Like I can't believe, me personally, that it's come out with another wave. Like I thought they would have died already, but
I totally agree with that. I don't see how they've managed to suck the life out of something so much that was already lifeless, in my opinion. To just release another wave of figures, or I mean, they probably sold out right away. I can imagine. I didn't really keep track of it. The Mario probably sold out right away, and they were thinking, yes, let's get our wallets together. I'll tell you what, let's release a Luigi later on in the year and we'll do this. And it made no sense to me. I mean, Mario as a cartoon and as a game is brilliant, but the forced nature of this product is just out there. So in my opinion, it's probably one of the worst things that's come out of Lego this year.
Yes, with an exception of maybe tying to video. And I guess you want to start. Do you want to start that, or do you want me to get the feel?
I don't mind video. The only reason that I'm hesitant, like you said before we went record this video, is the app side of it isn't that great. Yes, it kind of has replaced Hidden Side, but the sets are smaller. For me, the tiles and stuff that you get with the minifigures are just brilliant. You know, they're great for mocks. They're like cool little designs. There's some hilarious stuff, like the fact that there's a cow getting sucked up by a tornado is brilliant. It makes me laugh every time I see it. But the minifigures are cool, but I don't think that it's probably gonna last.
Yeah,
I don't think it's here to stay, is it? Obviously, Hidden Side didn't stay very long. You've said you've had some experience with the app, and it's been pants. It's just been absolutely horrendous. And the overall theme doesn't make sense if you have in this app, if people are just going to buy it for the cool minifigures.
Yeah, basically, to me, video would have, well, they called it video because of the app. So right there, it's doomed, because now you're tied to development of both the app side and a set. So when you release a Lego set, usually you have all this R&D going into the packaging, the design team, making sure that it passes any inspections, QA process, and then you can start marketing and designing that set. That's a very simplified approach to it. But then now you have to do this on the AR application, augmented reality stuff, at the same time. So it brings your cost up to, every time you want to put out a video set, it costs the company a lot more money. And just like you've seen with Hidden Side, if sales aren't there, it makes it harder to sustain it. I assume video is going to be dead pretty quick. Give it a couple of years, maybe not even a couple of years. I personally love the minifigures, and if they have sold the set as, like, let's just say they renamed it something like Dance Party, just probably not a good name, by the way. I'm just saying that as an example. But if they released Dance Party minifigures, I would probably buy those and enjoy them, because all they are minifigure packs.
Yeah, that is essentially, that is all they are. Like, it's cool to have. I think, for me, again, it's another plastic waste thing, but I won't try and delve into it too much. The bigger, larger sets, like the actual Beatboxer and the Unicorn and all those other, like, standalone figures that you've got to pay like $20 for or £20 for, is a bit overpriced. in my eyes, and I'm thinking, do I really want to buy it just for that plastic and a couple of cool tiles? The smaller packets, the mystery minifigures that you get, like the collectible series, I think is probably spot on, but the price is probably way too high. I realized that I bought one of them before, and I didn't realize how much it was. And I looked at the receipt, and I was like, it's £4, $4, and I was like, that's pretty expensive for a minifigure, for just one solid minifigure. And basically, all it comes with is you get the minifigure, you get an accessory, and then you get 3 tiles and those black pieces there on the back, and that's it. And I'm thinking, for £4, I've seen, small city sets for that price that you can get. Some 3-in-1s for a decent price if they're on sale. Some poly bags that are way better than these. And you get more parts. So yeah, I think there is a little bit of a catch-22 with the video sets, but I mean, the minifigures are cool. I do like them, but they need to sort out the price, I think.
Yeah. Well, and part of that price is because of the development it takes for that product line.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, if they just released it, like you said, like a dance party set or a dance party theme, like minifigures, like they have done with. I mean, why wouldn't they just do? Say, for instance, they've done the Looney Tunes minifigure series. Why wouldn't you just create a separate series and call it Dance Party and have all these crazy things that you're like, oh yeah, let's do this? But maybe Lego are just trying to get into more avenues. Like they're in the cinematic world now, aren't they, with the Lego movies and the Batman movies? Maybe they're trying to get into the app sort of scene, branch out.
Well, they definitely want to get into that because that's why they have the app. They wanted to get into social media / app. They also, with Inside, they found out they don't do video games very well internally. So that's why they sub out all their video games to their companies and give them just sell licensing. But, more, video games in the future. They've got one on Steam. I don't know. This is probably way too tangenty.
No, that's fine.
One on Steam that's going to be on sale later this year. And it's Lego puzzles. And it's made by another company, not Lego, but Lego give licensing. And there's a puzzle set where you see a model and they give you a picture of what they want it to be or where there's a problem. And you have to move the pieces to fix it.
That's going to be cool.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. It's a Lego puzzle game, basically.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for telling me that. I might have to install that when it comes out. So to wrap this, because I did intend for this to be some sort of yearly review video, but what I might do, and what Aaron's probably excited about, is I might make this some sort of weekly podcast where we just talk about random stuff. Some maybe involving Lego, some maybe involving video games or whatever. But mainly, Lego would probably be a main theme of it. So that's probably what I'll do with this series, and this will be podcast number 1 of whatever. But to wrap things up, top 3 sets that you got this year, Aaron. Top 3 set.
Top 3. In first place, it's Ninjago City Gardens. Second place, the Minecraft First Adventure. And the third place, the Bonsai Tree.
See, and you basically slagged the Botanical Gardens theme right off, and now, the Bonsai Tree is my favorite.
The reason why it's the third favorite one is because it's the one I have to look at every time I go into my house, because Stacy put it right by the door. So I'm like, I got good mileage out of that. I have to see that thing every day.
Yeah.
So,
and that was it's worth it.
And that's her vote. That's her favorite set this year for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Stacey's probably going to watch this video afterwards, so she knows you're going to be. You've been down talking the botanical series all the time.
Yeah, she is.
For me, it's probably number 1 is probably the medieval. Medieval has been a real surprise. I probably wouldn't have gone out of my way to get it, but now that I've got it and built it up, it's probably one of my favorites. Number 1. Then we've got Haunted House. That thing is an absolute beast. It is full of all sorts of cool stuff. The mechanic elevator or lift inside is awesome. And then last but not least is, I did have the police station, but I'm probably going to change it. This little buggy set. And wow. I know it is. I know I've knocked the police station off my my top 3, but I don't know what it is. I think it's just the involvement with the suspension. Like the suspension's really cool. And there was a video I watched with when you two were live, and it was like the jungle bike, Lloyd's jungle bike. And just the way it moved on the table and stuff, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. Plus, I love this 4x4, and it was secretly like my Lego crush, as it were, when I saw the pictures. So, yeah. So that wraps it up for this episode of who knows what. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. I don't know whether it's going to be a podcast or a weekly episode or a monthly episode, maybe. That might work out better. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching this. I know it's been a long one, but I really appreciate you being here. I'm sure Aaron appreciates you being here as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.